Storytelling. Who doesn't love a good story? Whether it's in the form of a novel or a TV show, chances are that if you ask someone how they enjoy spending their time, it will be in some medium of storytelling. However, what I'm here to talk about isn't the general concept of literature and just how beautiful it is. I already think about that on a daily basis. I'm here to talk about a specific facet of storytelling, utilized heavily in the anime known as The Summer Hikaru Died, which obviously is a show, a visual form of storytelling. One of the best techniques that pieces of storytelling such as TV and movies have to their advantage is their visuals, their cinematography. Cinematography is defined by Merriam-Webster as the art of science or photography in a visual medium. This is achieved through use of filming/visual techniques such as camera angles, lighting, and general manipulation of the scene and space within said scene. Now, if you're watching this video, you've probably already seen a lot of Summer Hikaru Died and its many incredible analysis videos, which saves me the effort of informing you about its plot summary, queer subtext, yada yada. I'll say it again for the people in the back. Queer subtext. Okay. We already know the show, we love how layered it is, and for many reasons that people have already discussed at length. Sadly, I have not seen any videos analyze the cinematography of the show, and that's where I come in. Because even with its incredible storytelling and subtext, this show wouldn't be this effective and memorable without the impressive visuals. Perhaps the most impressive part of all of this is the fact that this is an anime, an animated piece of work, not a live-action medium where you can make these adjustments to camera angles while on set. No! These people had to take the time and effort and money to painstakingly get the right angle and focus and crisp quality to flash on screen for a few seconds because they know what difference it would make. But enough of me rambling, let's just talk about it. So one of the reasons The Summer Hikaru Died is such an interesting anime is how it mixes contrasting concepts and emotions in such a nuanced and realistic way. The main themes of the show are grief, psychological horror, and even love, which you wouldn't think would work well together. However, if you look at it on a granular scale, how it achieves evoking these emotions in you and pulls you in, it comes down to the cinematography. Of course, let's start with one before the other, so let's pick, say, horror. The main reason many people watch this anime was for its psychological and body horror elements. It's not necessarily gory or even that in-your-face about it, but where it achieves this best is in its atmosphere and how it engages your senses. Horror films are notorious for techniques that leave you with a sense of dread and fear even before anything bad happens. For example, one of the most common ways The Summer Hikaru Died utilizes a horror technique is through contrast. Contrast in lighting to bring a sense of eeriness, contrast in camera angles, how so many scenes make discomforting close-ups while others show wide-angle shots that make you and Yoshiki feel small, contrast in body horror of who Hikaru was versus how Hikaru is now. There's even a recurring contrast in, I believe, episode 2 or 3, where the beginning shows a flashback with this shot of sunflowers, its bright yellow invoking feelings of nostalgia, warmth, happiness, becoming a recurring shot throughout the episode in the present time's dull, cold color palette showing Yoshiki's current state and mood. This isn't the only time color contrast is used to unsettle you. The red of Hikaru's body tentacle thingies intentionally stands out against the dark background of the anime, as red is technically the most eye-catching color to the human eye. This is a fact. But the most chilling example is the use of parallel scenes. Now, to be fair, I don't know the official term for this, but there's so many scenes where it'll show Yoshiki, or Yoshiki and Hikaru doing something chill, even peaceful, while it cuts to something eerie or bad happening somewhere else in the village over and over. It's overwhelming, dread-inducing, and even foreshadows what's to come. I also find it interesting how in some scenes the main horror element or earth-shattering event isn't always the focus of the scene composition-wise. Take this scene, for instance. It's arguably more chilling not being able to see it completely, or seeing it from a weird angle versus up close. After all, it's not the dark human sphere, but what's inside it. Now let's talk depression. Grief in media is also shown in suffocating dark color palettes, but unlike with horror, it leaves you with a sense of emptiness, loneliness. This can be gleaned by seeing how uneven the lighting is in certain scenes, how Yoshiki is always placed distant from his friends. The light always centers on them or Hikaru, but never on Yoshiki, his room always being depicted as dark and alone. Even happy scenes have a muted look, adding a layer of bittersweetness to the rare moments of joy. the use of negative space to emphasize Yoshi's sense of mental isolation, both in dealing with his internalized homophobia and in grappling with ethical dilemmas about the nature of this being his best friend's body. This scene, where on the outside is just an old lady talking casually to him at a grocery store, is made so much more anxiety-inducing through the shot choice and sped-up dialogue that you feel Yoshi's panic, shame, and sense of suffocation he feels in a small town where no one understands his feelings. The anxiety and despair is reflected in Yoshi's facial expressions while his eyes remain dead, and through how the show constantly bombards your senses with various stimuli at once like a TikTok. Another example of Yoshi's sense of isolation are the reoccurring POV shots, but what makes these stand out more than your normal POV shot is that you see his bangs partially obscuring the view, which alone gives a pretty strong implication on its own. He's hiding behind his hair, avoiding direct eye contact, fading into the background because he feels little agency in his life. Not only is this a really chilling POV shot, but it also establishes his character so well. And considering all this, you might not even realize how the hell romance can possibly play a role in here cinematography-wise, but it does. All three of these elements blend together in such a way that it feels just as layered as the show itself. Romance tends to be filmed with softer, even warmer lighting, and closer shots to emphasize connection and intimacy, limiting distractions to focus on the main pair. This is evident in many scenes featuring Hikaru, such as the close-ups to the pair. Many times there are slow close-ups to parts of Hikaru's body and Yoshiki diverting away, the gosh dang shot of marinated chicken appearing, reminding Yoshiki of their, endeavors. Perhaps one of the best ways of showing non-sexual yet sexual tension, and even scenes where the lighting is dark, they are always placed close together. Even when their close-up scenes feel eerie or like Hikaru might accidentally hurt him, there's always, always some gosh dang close-up or intimate shot of them emphasizing the body language, the things that matter most that aren't being said. The scene in the final episode showcases all three of these elements best, with the psychological horror of the sudden dark lighting, flashing lights, flashing images, and changing animation, the depression, how it contrasts Yoshiki talking about being a monster as images of straight couples flash by, and the pretty explicit romance of, desperation of not wanting the monster to leave even though it's not the same boy he loved, plus the romantic atmosphere, color palette, and Yoshiki accepting the monster, accepting his feelings, I mean. The Summer Hikaru Died is a hauntingly beautiful anime that I would highly recommend. The surrealist and melancholic mood and unsettling yet natural and unnatural imagery pulls off this complex mosaic-like masterpiece that just stays with you. Even if you can't relate to the feeling of being a queer person in a small town or even losing a loved one, this anime feels so hauntingly real because of how it depicts a universal sense of isolation that peers into your psyche. And keep in mind, most anime do not utilize these types of camera angles and shot composition. These are film techniques, which makes the show stand out even more compared to more conventional anime using high-energy, typical composition, and fast-paced scenes. The introspective nature and intentional choice of when to speed up and slow down is done masterfully. This anime made me think about the importance of cinematography and visual media, and how intentional use can really invoke emotion in your audience. I'm actually gonna go to school for videography, so at the very least, maybe when you watch this video, I might be a more reliable source by then. But anyway, until next time, and stay in tune. The following section is images and clips from the show that I couldn't find anywhere to fit in the video, but are either related to the topic or just, I don't know, I was rewatching this for extra clips and thought they were interesting, so have fun.
Glad you stuck with sneakers.
Hello, Kaoru dear. What a lovely yukata.
Say thank you.
Get my son